Well, good morning or afternoon or evening. Thank you for joining us. My name is Megan Popke and I am from Northeast Wisconsin Technical College in Green Bay, Wisconsin. We are happy to be with you this morning. I am joined by one of our lovely students and I'll let him introduce himself as well.
Hi everyone, this is Mohammed. I'm an international student here. I came here last year, couple of majors. That's not important because you will be using your own majors. But happy to be here. It's an amazing place. And I really hope that you guys can join us. The rest, you will get to know. And I'm still catching my breath because I was here in a nick of time. It was almost late.
Well, we appreciate Mohammed taking the time to be here. I think hearing directly from students is probably most valuable and what students appreciate the most. So throughout the presentation, Mohammed's really going to provide his perspective on NWTC, kind of how he got through the process, his experiences here. Please feel free to ask any questions that you might have throughout the presentation. We'll try to get to them at the time or definitely leave time at the end. So probably the first question is, where is NWTC? And really even, where is the state of Wisconsin and the city of Green Bay? So this just shows you a map of the United States and where Green Bay, Wisconsin is located. So it is definitely in the upper Midwest or towards the north. You know, sharing just a little bit about what the population is and the fact that it is a very safe and welcoming community. The nice thing is it's also very close, kind of conveniently located to some major cities. So Chicago being one, Minneapolis, and then our capital, Madison, being another. I know Mohammed is a traveler, so he has definitely seen many of those places. So if there's anything about just kind of the area of Green Bay and Wisconsin in general?
Oh yeah, one thing that no one told me, I'm going to tell you, do not pack tropical. It is a cold place.
That is exactly true.
No one told me that. I did not know I was signing up for going to Canada. It says it's United States, but it's very cold here. It's a very peaceful place, and I come from very, very big cities from back home, and I've traveled quite a bit in different countries. Always stayed in a very big place. This is a small town, but one of the best places that I've ever been to, and I couldn't take it back. This is very amazing place, amazing school, amazing people. Just everyone appreciates you being here from a different country and trying so hard to better your life. That is something everyone appreciates about you, including me, and that's what I experienced too. Yeah. So you'll have an amazing time here.
We appreciate you mentioning that, Mohammed, because I think on one of these upcoming slides we get to what the international student population is, but that is very true. We definitely are very much genuinely interested and excited about having international students here with us and being able to experience some of these things. So this next slide, again, are some images of kind of our downtown area, that upper left in the summer. So it does get warm, it just is seasonally warm. And then the upper right is the Green Bay Packers, so American football, which I think Mohammed had a chance to attend an event. Oh, right. And yes, he also volunteered at the Packer concession stands. And then some of the other photos are, again, some downtown photos and events that really brings the community together. So a little bit about NWTC. I think important to know that NWTC has been around for over 100 years. I think, you know, there are lots of colleges and universities around, but I think knowing that an institution has that long of a history and has a strong accreditation by the Higher Learning Commission is definitely something that students, or maybe more so parents, appreciate knowing. So the college itself, we enroll over 40,000 students annually, but that's not necessarily the students that are taking things full-time. So as it says, there's 7,000 approximately full-time equivalent students. And the degrees that we grant are 2-year Associates of Applied Science degrees. We do have an intensive English program, so for students whose English just needs either a little bit of work or even a lot of work. And then a lot of our students transfer to complete a 4-year degree after completing their associate's degree. So as you saw on the first slide, Mohammed mentioned he does have multiple degree area that he's focusing on. And so do you want to share anything about your experience in the programs?
Yeah, Couple of things you need to know, especially international students coming from different countries. We tend to go for multiple majors. I know it's just something about us, I guess. The way we are, we don't want to focus on one thing, and that's completely normal. Okay. One thing I made a mistake. I was trying to combine all the majors and taking credits from every major every semester, which is okay, but the length of the program increases to significantly. I mean, my program was supposed to be finished in 2.5 years, and now I have to wait for 1 more year. So that is something that you should prepare for beforehand. That's one thing. I do have 3 different majors, which is business management, software development, and electrical electronics engineering. But again, instructors here are amazing. English, yes, English. You need English if you come to the United States, but I've had my colleagues here, my students here, my class fellows whose English is, even if not very amazing, teachers here are amazing. They will help you. If you miss out on something, you can ask questions. You will have an experience which probably will be even better than other countries. I come from a country where teachers are a little bit strict about certain things. Here, it's not like that. Teachers are going to sit with you even if they have to spend time with you after class. That's, again, it's an amazing thing here. I love being at NWTC. I would not take it back.
I appreciate you mentioning, Mohammed, that just the sincere commitment that our instructors have to the students being successful. So all of our students, but definitely our international students, I think they realize that, there might be a language barrier, there's definitely a cultural barrier at times, and really wanting students to be successful.
Yeah, and then we have the academic coach, and we have the career advisors. I mean, we have all the resources that we need. I mean, I feel like I'm not just a student anymore. I feel like I'm an ambassador now.
Right. Well, you are. You are, informal or formal. But, what Mohammed speaks about is really the whole network of individuals here that really want the students to be successful and complete the degree or degrees that they came here for. And actually, one of our international students, I think a year or so ago, just was so surprised by that network of support and appreciated, anywhere you turn that there was someone here to help. So I know that the admission process can sometimes feel a little overwhelming. And so Mohammed and I will speak through that. And like I said, if there are questions about that, please let us know. But the most important thing to know is that the NWTC International application, the first page actually is a helpful checklist. So I would say if you pay attention to that and kind of go through step by step, that really walks you through what you need to submit in order for the application to be complete. So there's a one-time $130 application fee. Definitely required some proof of language proficiency. So of course the TOEFL and the IELTS are kind of the most global, the ones that are used most often. So there are some scores for that, but definitely reach out to us if you have other English language assessments, or if those are not accessible for you. We can definitely work with you on a case-by-case basis. As we mentioned, there's the intensive English program, and so some students just need a class or two to kind of get their English up to a proficient level, and some individuals need full 12 credits and then can go into their academic program. So again, it's very individualized and really based on where the students are with that English. The cost of attendance, I would say, is definitely one of the things that we have to our advantage. Lots of colleges and universities in the U.S., but often their out-of-state tuition, or what they charge for international students, is very, very high. And we try very hard to keep that international student tuition low and affordable. And it's still an investment, of course, but relatively speaking, is still a very affordable option to study in the U.S. You can see Mohammed with a different hairdo and without a hat is one of the models in the photo on this slide. So Mohammed, anything in terms of suggestions or ways to really make the study at NWTC affordable?
Yes, but before that, I would talk about the English requirement. I didn't have access to TOEFL and IELTS myself. So like you said, individual cases, they do work with you on an individual basis. depending on what you have. So I didn't have the access to TOEFL or IELTS, but I did appear for O-level exams, and the O-level is one of the exams that you take, and it's a British system, but and I had a very good grade in my English from the O-levels, so they accepted that as my IELTS or TOEFL requirement, and that worked. So so that they have an idea of how they can work with you. And the cost of attendance, I don't think the tuition fee can get any better than this. You cannot, because you're an international student, so you cannot apply for financial aid or anything like that. But on an individual basis, you do have the opportunity to apply for scholarships here. So it's not a lot, but they do help, because in general, these universities here are probably 3 times or 4 times this cost. So that helps a lot. That was one of the most important reasons that I came here, because I couldn't afford those universities. Books, again, when you come here, for the first year, you can work at the campus 20 hours a week. That helps you a lot with your rent and with your daily expenses. But when you do come here, I made that mistake as well. Then you have to ask money from back home and call your parents. But when you come here, come prepared, at least for the 1 year. And then after that, things become easier. You understand the culture, you understand you can go out and do stuff, but no. For the first year, you have to make sure that you have the money that you come here.
Yeah, that's some good recommendations. And I think, just hearing it from your fellow students, I think is more powerful. And so, if you have questions about the process and you would like to speak to a student, we can always connect you with Mohammed or another current international student who has gone through the process, who can, explain. Of course, anyone on our international programs team is happy to do so as well, but I know it, sometimes is more convenient to speak with another student. So some of the items on this slide are really about after you apply and you submit, everything that's required for a complete application, then what we issue is an I-20 form and an acceptance letter. And so we strive very hard to get that out to you within 2 weeks, and sometimes sooner, just depending on how quickly the mail is. And so then this process is what you go through, of course, to actually apply for and hopefully be approved for your F1 visa to study in the US. So I'll let Mohammed maybe speak about this, because he definitely knows this process inside and out much better than I do.
Yes. So yes, your I-20 form, they usually mail it. I mean, I got within a week. Again, depends on the country, depends on the mailing system. So I had some mix-up, so they had to send it twice to me, and still was pretty awesome. It just got to me within a week. But right after that, the major thing is not the I-20. Major thing is your F1 visa. It's a big part of everything. It takes time. They are supposed to give us the visa when we apply after the interview within 2 days, but that depends on how good your interview goes. There is no exception to this case. You will not get your visa without the interview. They have to go through the interview process. Some countries they do, but for the United States, they will ask you to come for the interview. And in interview, the main thing that they're looking for is why are you going to study? And it's not about why United States. In general, why are you leaving your
would be happy to answer any of those questions. It looks like we're back up and running with hopefully both video and audio. So as Mohammed mentioned, I think the most important question to be able to answer is exactly what he said, why you want to study at NWTC, and specifically how this education fits within your goals, and really being able to articulate that well and thoroughly. I think hopefully really increases your chances of getting that visa.
Yeah, if financially, if they would ask if financially you can support that or not, but just in case, even if you are allowed to work here, but for some reason something goes wrong, do you have to backup funds? They would ask that question, so make sure that you're prepared to answer those.
Yes, good suggestion. And as Mohammed mentioned, the NWTC scholarships are an option. It is just a portion of tuition. Mohammed has applied, I think, every semester, and he has received a scholarship every semester. And the awards are typically, on average, $750. So again, you know, if you kind of are financially savvy and are really trying to, you know, plan ahead and putting all of those things that you can towards tuition and cost of living, hopefully that makes that feel a little bit more affordable, since tuition starts out a little bit more affordable. As I mentioned, so our international student data currently is actually, as of this spring, I think we're closer to 72 or 73 students, still in probably 30 plus countries, or from 30 plus countries, and in 25 plus different programs. So Mohammed already hits 3 of them for one person. But you know, I think we have, what's nice is we have a small yet growing international student community. And it's really neat because of the fact that with even that number of students, to have that many countries represented is pretty great. I think at some institutions, you know, they may have a cohort of maybe 30 or 40 from the same country, which is okay as well. It's just different. And so, and really, I think that diversity is what allows even, you know, international students to learn from individuals from other countries, U.S. students to learn, and vice versa. So,
This is my group.
yeah, I was going to say, I think this is Mohammed's group. And was this from Door County?
Yes.
Okay, so Door County is an area just north of Green Bay, a very kind of touristy place in the summer, and beautiful, lots of water and beaches and parks, and so that's where they were for a little excursion. Also, in terms of getting involved on campus, we have many, many student clubs and activities. As you can see below, from year to year, you know, there's 30 to 40 different student clubs. We have an International Honor Society for the 2-year college. The International Student Club, the name is Global Connections. And really, on average, I would say we have probably 4 to 5 activities a week from our student involvement office, including music, food, you know, different make and takes. Actually, yesterday, for a U.S. holiday of Valentine's Day, students could come and make and take their own stuffed animal, either for themselves or for loved ones. So we also have study abroad opportunities, so short-term, usually 2 weeks in length, ways to see other parts of the world, and then other areas to encourage kind of meeting and gathering and hanging out with, you know, your fellow students and classmates and club members. So any insights on kind of getting involved on campus or opportunities?
Yes, I was part of 3 different clubs, and it was one of them was Active Minds, one of them was the American Asian Students Association, and I was part of Global Connection. I am still a part of Global Connection. I'm not very active now. I'm working and I'm focusing on 3 different majors, so I kind of don't have enough time. But that really looks good on your resume when you are involved in all these things. Plus, you get to know more people. That's like the main thing. First, for the first full year, I was involved in everything, and that's how I got into volunteering at Lambeau Field too.
Oh, right.
So, but these things, they look really good on resume. Here in the United States, when you apply for jobs in future, they look at how much community service or volunteering things that you've done. They always look at that. That's very good. But again, for international students, the best thing about clubs is that you get to know more people. You interact and you network. That's the best thing. And so come here and join our club.
Absolutely. Well, and I saw a couple of new people joined us. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to just jump in and type your question. We'd be happy to answer that. You know, these are, again, some other photos of NWTC's campus and different activities. So that top right is, again, a group that had the pleasure of seeing an American football game at Lambeau Field and the Green Bay Packers. And then the top left is another Door County trip. This past summer, they did a kayaking trip. Then they did some community service in a community garden. And the bottom right are some country presentations that our students do. And this one looks like with some little ones, so must have been in an elementary school. So
I'm even in this picture.
I was going to say, right? Yeah. The other great feature that we have that actually just opened this past fall is on-campus housing. So the Orchards is the name of our on-campus housing unit. It is shared apartment style living. So definitely not the traditional dorm. It includes, there's some pictures there from you know, what the layout is of the unit. So there's shared kitchen, it's a full kitchen, shared living room, it's fully furnished, including the TV. So there's Wi-Fi, utilities, there's a small fitness center and a small laundry area, and then each floor, it's 4 floors, has small little like meeting rooms or study rooms. The greatest thing I think probably about the Orchards is the family feel and atmosphere. So we, our student involvement office actually programs activities there every month, and we probably have 5 to 8 activities a month. And it's open to other students, but I would say most of the people that take advantage would be those who live at the Orchards. And right now it's really nice. The breakdown of international students to U.S. students is about half and half. So, you know, definitely nice to interact with fellow international students, but then also U.S. students, and I think has allowed that on-campus feel. So these are some pictures of NWTC's campus, including, you know, the labs and the facilities, and I think most people when they come are just very surprised by the state-of-the-art really equipment and areas that we have. So anything from your programs or experience that you have with any of the facilities that you think students would appreciate?
Yeah, I use almost every lab, depending on where I am, because my classes are completely all over the place. So wherever I am, it's easier for me to get to the labs, the computers. I mean, even usually almost every class has computers in the class too, so that's not another issue. But you have open labs, you have other computer labs, you have, depending on if you are electronics or electrical or mechanical, they have like full labs here. Even if you were an automobile engineer and you were going for that, you have a full like a mechanic shop here which you can work on. Even they will even work on your cars, just so that they can get a feel for it and they don't even charge for it. And it's amazing the kind of facilities that this campus has.
Yeah, I think, you know, we sometimes get so used to it that we take it for granted, I would say, until we visit some other campuses and realize that not everyone has some of those state-of-the-art facilities.
The library is amazing here. I mean, most of the time I use library books to study here, so I don't have to go ahead and buy a lot of books. And they have online resources, they have actual physical books there, hard copies. And the people in the librarians are just so helpful. They would just leave everything, whatever they were doing, and they would help the students who were standing in front of them.
So glad. I'm so glad that that's your experience, because that's definitely what we want to be doing.
You know how I am. I mean, I know them by name.
Right. I was going to say, I'm sure you do. I'm sure they know you as well. So a little bit about the calendar. So for those of you who are interested in joining and starting with us, you know, we have many different options. So the next start would be summer start, and I believe that actual date that international students arrive is right around May 20th. So there's an international student orientation around May 20th, and then classes start the following week. If you're interested in the fall semester, international student arrival is around August 20th, and then starting that following week. And then spring semester, which just kicked off the end of January, usually students get here about that third week in January and start that last week. So many different options. The fall and spring semesters are 15 weeks in length, and summer session and the month of January session are really optional. So we don't have a firm deadline or cutoff of the applications. The only thing that we highly recommend is that you apply at least 1 month before the start of the semester to give yourself enough time, primarily for that visa process and interview and things associated with that, because we're able to keep things moving rather quickly, but in certain countries, that visa interview process really is what takes the longest. Yeah. So if you're thinking, again, about summer start and thinking about starting end of May, then really end of April would be when you would apply, and then really just backtracking again for whichever semester you're interested in. Again, for any attendees, if you have questions, please feel free to ask any of those throughout. These are just some great student photos and really letting you know that we are genuinely welcoming and expecting and wanting international students here as a part of our community. I don't think that we can be as strong of a college if we don't have the diversity and the backgrounds and the perspectives that all of you, including Mohammed, really bring to the campus. So any additional thoughts on any of those things that we talked about, or questions that you feel like you usually hear from?
It's just we can talk about questions all day long, and there are so many questions. I mean, I had so many questions when I was coming here, but when the honest truth is, when you get here, then you could get the real feel of what it is and how you're going to go about this. It's not that difficult. The studies here are comparatively easier. The way instructors, the way they lay out their syllabus, and we have a Blackboard system which is completely online. All your assignments are online. The way it's made is it's just easier for students. When you come here, you would definitely like it. But again, you can ask any questions that you want, but the honest truth is, bottom line is, when you come here, then you know what you have to do. And then again, we are here to help you every step of the way. It's not just me, there are other students here too. They would help you out too, plus Megan and other faculty members. They're all here. The main important thing is that you apply for your visa in time and you get here. That's the main important thing. And when you are here, we can definitely help you out with anything and any questions that you have and walk you through with it.
Absolutely. And we did get one question. The question was, what SAT scores and IELTS scores do you need? So the first question is, we don't require SAT. So if you have an SAT assessment that you've taken, that's wonderful. You can send that our way, and then that will likely save you from having to do any placement testing here at the college, but it isn't required. And then I'm going to go back to the slide that we have about the admissions requirements. So as I mentioned, we do have some recommended scores for TOEFL and IELTS that you can see here. And so there's 2 different levels. So if you have that proof of language proficiency, that's those top bullets on the screen. And then the bottom ones are ones that you might need then some intensive English, either just a couple classes or a full semester of English before starting your academic program. But it's a great pathway for many students, no matter what level they have, to make sure that they really feel comfortable with the English language in an academic area, so that they can be successful. But as I mentioned, if you joined us later, Mohammed shared that he didn't have the TOEFL or the IELTS, and so if you don't have the ability to take either one of those, but you have a fairly strong way to show what your language proficiency is, we will definitely try to work with you to figure out how to get a good sense for your level of proficiency, even if you don't have either of those assessments. So good question. And as Mohammed mentioned, if anyone with us now or watching has additional questions, I realize the last slide actually has some outdated dates on it. But just so that you are aware, for our follow-up chats, I will be online here from 8:30 a.m. Central until 10 a.m. Central today. And then I will be back online for chatting tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Central. So if you have any questions about any of these things, we'll try to get this video up on our College Week Live page so that you can kind of watch this at your leisure and continue engaging with us, sending us emails, chats, you know, in any way that we can help you through the admission process. We would love to have you be a part of the community and want to help you make it a possibility. So any final words, Mohammed?
Yeah, about the emails. I used to send emails to my international advisor like almost every day because I was so nervous, and he replied. It was Bo James at the time, and now it's Kerry, but he replied to every one of them, and I had a phone number to call him, and I was calling him and leaving voicemails. So that's, again, you can do that too, but my advice would be don't do that. I was just too nervous.
No, I would say I would definitely echo Mohammed doing that, because I think he shares a very normal part of the process is being really nervous. I mean, it's a big step to leave your home and country and come many times a very far distance to study. And so don't hesitate to email and call, and even if it feels like you are doing that multiple times, I mean, that is genuinely what we're here for, and we'd prefer to be able to reassure you and make you feel comfortable that that, you know, this is where you're supposed to be, and we'll help you every step of the way. So we have a few more attendees now, so I hate to cut off now. We just wrapped up the presentation, so if anyone who just joined us has some specific questions about the admissions process, please feel free to do that. The individual who asked another question about kind of the SAT and IELTS, I would be happy to send you additional admissions and fee details. I'll go to the slide that shares at least the cost of attendance. And so this shares what the tuition is for a full year. So as you can see, it's just around $5,000 for a year of study. $2,000 is the estimate for books, fees, and insurance. And then cost of living, you know, we really try to be honest with students about, you know, what the cost of living is. Green Bay, Wisconsin is very affordable compared to other cities in the U.S. But, you know, I think sometimes students just think about the tuition. And if that's all you're thinking about, then I think that's not probably very realistic for how much you need to live comfortably. And so we try to put together a realistic total cost of attendance. And then that's what, when you look through the application checklist, you'll see that there's a financial verification form. That's what either you or a financial sponsor or family member need to show so that we know that, you know, you can come here and be able to afford the study and live and, you know, not be so worried about how you're going to pay tuition. So
it's the same thing as the visa officer. He's going to ask you for the same. He's not just going to take your word that you have the money. He's going to he's going to want to see it on the paper in a bank statement form or a bank affidavit form or something, some sort of actual paper that says you have that cost. And whether you think you can, because in certain cases you can actually adjust yourself. I mean, I think it says almost $18,000 a year. I mean, I think I manage in $15,000, but the visa officer will want you to show that amount. He doesn't care whether you can live in $10,000 or $20,000. He needs to see that amount because that's what an accumulative total is, which we think that you might need. So the reason is, and it's not bad. It's not bad for you, and we're not trying to kick you out. All we're trying to do is so that you know that even if something goes bad, and it happens, ups and downs, they happen, you have backup funds on all this. And like I said, I made a small mistake when I had to talk to my parents about it. Eventually, you have to come up with that money, and it's better to be safe than sorry. That's what my dad says all the time, better to be safe than sorry. And it's good.
That's a good mantra. Yeah, and that's really, we want to just be honest and upfront and, you know, not have our students arrive and have surprises or things that they weren't prepared for or know about. So I would say that's what our team really tries to do, is make sure that That's why we don't mind if you call and email as many times as you need to, so that you feel fully informed and are making the best decision and finding the institution that's the best fit for you, because you know, NWTC isn't going to be the institution for everyone, but we're really hopeful that when we talk to you know, prospective international students and share all of the things that our college has in terms of the warm and welcoming community, in terms of the state-of-the-art facilities, in terms of the accreditation, and really being, I would say, a leading institution within the U.S. I think one of the last statistics that NWTC had was, you know, it was in the top 10% of community colleges or two-year colleges in the entire United States. And so our president and our leadership are always striving to figure out ways to make the college, you know, really on the cutting edge and doing things that are we're doing for the right reasons for our students to, you know, come here and leave with what they intended, you know, the degrees, the diplomas, all of the goals that they have for their life and for their career. So we thank you very much for joining us this morning, or whatever time it is in your home countries. Please keep the questions coming. Like I said, I will log into the chat feature after this and would be happy to chat with you. There's also a video chat feature even on that, so if you feel more comfortable speaking, you know, feel free to do that, or follow up. That last slide that I have has my specific contact information, and if you look on College Week Live, that also has a lot of different links. So thank you for joining us. I hope to hear from you all very soon, and take care.
Yeah, and I really hope that I get to see more international students there. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.